Hello, name's Jeff. Thought I would introduce myself. I've been painting my whole adult life, drawing in charcoal and pen and ink and airbrush and you name it. I ran across many artists online that I really enjoy watching them. I've learned quite a bit, actually. I've paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars for workshops that a lot of times you can get the information for free or through doing Patreon with artists right here on YouTube from around the globe. I think it's wonderful. A guy of my age, I've seen these changes come where artists are sharing online where that was not available when I was coming up, in the early 80s when I first started painting. I stumbled onto this young lady. Her name is Lioba Bruckner. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Lioba Bruckner. She's a presence here on YouTube. She's got her own channel. Of course, she's also got a Patreon channel. And I really enjoyed watching her paint and the freedom of color. But I really latched onto her presence. She just has a really strong presence. So I thought it might be fun to paint her. So I asked her permission, and she said it would be okay. So I ran across a photo of her online that I thought would be suitable for painting. I didn't want her looking at the camera like many photos are where you're actually posing for the photograph. I like painting people in moments, you might say. I like painting people that are caught in a moment of daydream, that sort of thing. So that's why I chose this particular photo. Now, I'm not blaming the photographer, but it wasn't the greatest photo to paint from, but it was still a very enjoyable experience. I tried to keep my painting loose and full of color. I did mention that I asked permission, didn't I? Okay, yeah, she gave me permission to paint her. So I wanted to also share something that maybe if you're just starting out or if you're an artist already, that you might really want to read a book. It's a very old book. It's written by an artist named Robert Henry, called The Spirit of Art, or The Art Spirit. It was such a big influence on me as a young artist to understand maybe the psychology of art and why we want to do it, or why the viewer would or would not enjoy it. It's a really good book. Robert Henry, Spirit of Art, or Art Spirit. I'm getting off on the title, I'm not real sure. But anyway, I wanted to just talk a little bit about my technique. I like to start off these days, my technique evolves all the time, but these days I like to paint with bold color, right off the start. If I see a little bit of green in something and flesh tone, I'll accentuate that even more. I'll bring it out even more. I want to express things very quickly in bright color, and then as the painting progresses, sometimes it gets kind of muted down a little bit. And there again, the new age of art, I really enjoy the fact that people are appreciating, young artists are appreciating realism. They're appreciating things that are representational of real life. They're expressing themselves. Many, like Cesar Santos, he's expressing himself in his paintings often as the way the masters of the 14th and 15th century did. This is great. I think it's fantastic. I mean, we went through this period of time in art where if it wasn't abstract or it wasn't some kind of ism, it didn't fit into some kind of ism that was popular at the moment, then it just, it got criticism. But I think now that we're really accepting all kinds of art, we're seeing it as a true craft, a true expression, even if it's hyper realism where you've got tiny little one-hair brushes working on every little detail. That's acceptable again. When I was coming up, you were frowned upon if you did anything realistic. It was looked at as, why would you do that? Just take a photograph. Well, you do it because you love it. You do this stuff, you do art because you love to do it. It doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks. Enjoy painting.